tonight's gonna be different. We are doing our first reading stream. I had the idea to read to you guys, and people seemed excited about that idea, so I thought, let's try it. I don't know though. Oh shoot. I'm gonna be playing games in the background, because that's what my audience is and does. But this is The Republic by Plato. Persons of the dialogue. Socrates, who is the narrator. Glaucon. Here, let me... Anyways. Persons of the dialogue. Socrates, who is the narrator. Forgive me for my pronunciations throughout this whole thing. Glaucon. Adamantus. Pulmachus. Cephalus. Thrasymachus. Cleitophon. And others who are mute auditors. The scene is laid in the house of Cephalus at Piraeus, and the whole dialogue is narrated by Socrates the day after it actually took place to Timaeus, Hermocrates, Critias, and a nameless person who are introduced at Timaeus. Sorry, I need to fix screen. As I predicted, we got it set up wrong. Boom. Fixed. Anyways, hope you're doing well, chat. Oh, 1 sec. Book 1. I went down yesterday to the Piraeus with Glaucon, the son of Ariston, that I might offer up my prayers to the goddess, Bendis, the Thater, and Artemis. Ads.
DoorDash is super easy, guys.
Sorry, this is my first time doing this, so we don't have like an overlay that's completely down. Hey there. Okay, I think we've got it. Bendis, the Thracian Artemis, and also because I wanted to see in what manner they would celebrate the festival, which was a new thing. I was delighted with the procession of the inhabitants, but that of the Thracians was equally, if not more, beautiful. When we had finished our prayers and viewed the spectacle, we turned in the direction of the city, and at that instant Pulmachus, the son of Cephalus, chanced to catch sight of us from a distance as we were starting on our way home, and told his servant to run and bid us wait for him. The servant took hold of me by the cloak behind and said, Pulmachus desires you wait. I turned around and asked him where his master was. There he is, said the youth, coming after you, if only you will wait. Certainly we will, said Glaucon. Hey! Good to see ya. I'm sure that I'm pronouncing that wrong. Glaucon. And in a few minutes, Polmachius appeared, and with him Adamantius, Glaucon's brother, um, Niceradus, the son of Nicias, and several others who had been at the procession. Polmachus said to me, I perceive, Socrates, that you and your companion are already on the way to the city. You are not far wrong, I said. But do you see, he rejoined, how many we are? Of course. And are you stronger than all these? For if not, you will have to remain where you are. May there not be the alternative, I said, that we may persuade you to let us go? But you cannot persuade us if we refuse to listen to you, he said. Certainly not, replied Glaucon. Then we are not going to listen, of that you may be assured. Expert moves there. Adamantius added, has no one told you of the touch race on the horseback in honor of the goddess, which will take place this evening? With horses, I replied. That is a novelty. Will horsemen carry torches and pass them one to another during the race? Oh. Yes, said Pulmachus, and not only so, but a festival will be celebrated at night, which you certainly ought to see. Let us rise soon after supper and see this festival. There will be a gathering of young men, and we will have a good talk. Stay then, and do not be perverse. Glaucon said, I suppose, since you insist, that we must. Chat, how are you? Talk to me. Oh, I'm worried about, my friends, because there's stuff going on our server that's no good. Good morning. This is how I'm getting my reading in. I was telling you about this, I think, earlier. I think you're the one that I was told about this. Very good, I replied. Accordingly, we went with Polmachius to his house, and there we found his brothers Lysias and Euthydemus, and with them Thrasymachus and the Chenstonian. I'm glad it's going fine. That looks like it says Charmantides. Sorry. Charmantides, the Paeanian, and Cleitophon, the son of Aristomeus. There too was Cephalus, the father of Polmachus, whom I had not seen for a very long time, and I thought him much aged. He was seated on a cushioned chair and had a garland on his head, for he had been sacrificing in the court, and there were some other chairs in the room arranged in a semicircle, upon which we sat down by him. He saluted me eagerly, and then he said, You don't come to see me, Socrates, as often as you ought. Shoot. Sorry. I am trying my best. You do not come to see me, Socrates, as often as you ought. If I were still able to go see you, I would not ask you to come to me. But at my age, I can hardly get to the city, and therefore you should come oftener to the Piraeus. For let me tell you that the more the pleasures of the body fade away, the greater to me is the pleasure of and charm of conversation. Do not then deny me in request, but make our house your report, and keep company among these young men. We are old friends, and you will be quite at home with us. Let me switch around my screen so it's easier, sorry. I need a second monitor, and I think that I finished the negotiation for that so far. Edit. Um, Forgive me again. I'm terrible at this. I have to edit the stream because it's not when a lot of times when things aren't going the way you would like them to, you can like adjust the title and stuff, and it does a lot. So I couldn't decide which category to put this in today, so I switched it to the other one. Boom. Prepared, good, ready. Simple, easy, awesome. Do not deny my request, but make our house your resort and keep company among these young men. We are old friends, and you will be quite at home with us. I replied, There's nothing which for my part I like better, Cephalus, than conversing with aged men, for I regard them as travelers who have gone a journey which I too may have to go, and of whom I ought to inquire whether the way is smooth and easy or rugged and difficult. And this is a question which I should like to ask of you who have arrived at that time which the poets called the threshold of old age. Is life harder towards the end, or what report do you give of it? I don't know. I need to fix my sound. Is life harder toward the end, or what report do you give of it? I will tell you, Socrates, he said, what my own feeling is. Many of... Hi. Anyways. Men of my age flock together, we are birds of a feather, as the old proverb says. And at our meetings, the tale of my acquaintances commonly is, I cannot eat, I cannot drink, the pleasures of youth and love are fled away. There was a good time once, but now that is gone, and life is no longer life. Some complain of the slights which are put upon them by ads. Not that are put upon them by ads. That's no. By relations, and they will tell you sadly of how many evils their old age is the cause. But to me, Socrates, these complainers seem to blame that which is not really in fault. For if old age were the cause, I too being old, and every other old man would have felt as they do. But this is not my experience, nor that of others whom I have known. How well I remember the aged poet Sophocles, when in answer to the question, How does love suit with age? Sophocles, are you still the man you were? Peace, he replied. Most gladly I have escaped the thing of which you speak. I feel as if I had escaped from a mad and furious master. His words have often occurred to my mind since, and they seem as good to me now as at the time when he uttered them. For certainly old age has a great sense of calm. Um, um, where were we? Sorry. For if old age were the cause, I too being old, and every other old man would have felt as they do. But this is not my own experience, nor that of others whom I have known. How well I remember the aged poet Sophocles, when in answer to the question, "How does love suit with age, Sophocles? Are you still the man you were?" "Peace," he replied. "More gladly have I escaped the things of which you speak. I feel as if I had escaped from a mad and furious master." His words have often occurred to my mind since, and they seem as good to me now as at the first time when he uttered them. For certainly old age has a great sense of calm and freedom when the passions relax their hold. Then, as Sophocles says, we are freed from the grasp, not of one mad master only, but many. The truth is, Socrates, that these regrets and also the complaints about relations are to be attributed to the same cause, which is not old age, but men's characters and tempers. For he who is of calm and happy nature will hardly feel the pressure of age, but to him who is of an opposite disposition, youth and age are equally a burden. I listened in admiration, and wanting to draw him out, that he might go on. "Yes, Syphilis," I said, "but I rather suspect that people in general are not convinced by you when you speak thus. They think that old age sits lightly upon you, not because of your happy disposition, but because you are rich, and wealth is well known to be a great comforter." "You are right," he replied. "They are not convinced, and there is something in what they say, not, however, so much as they imagine." I might answer them as Themistocles answered the serfin who was abusing him, and saying that he was famous not for his own merits, but because he was an Athenian. "If you had been a native of my country, or if I yours, neither of us would have been famous. And to those who are not rich and impatient of old age, the same reply may be made, for to the good poor man old age cannot be a light burden, nor can a bad rich man ever have peace with himself." For the good poor man old age cannot be a light burden, nor can a bad rich man ever have peace with himself. May I ask, Cephalus, whether your fortune was for the most part inherited or acquired by you? "Acquired, Socrates. Do you want to know how much I acquired? In the art of making money, I have been made between my father and grandfather. For my grandfather, whose name I bear, doubled and trebled the value of his patrimony, that which he inherited by being much what I possess now. But my father, Licinus, reduced the property below what it is at present, and I shall be satisfied if I leave to these my sons not less but a little more than I received." How are you holding on, chat? Should I slow down, stop, go back, restart, do the hokey pokey, turn myself around? What do we need? Are you guys doing well? Thoughts on this type of stream? Need feedback. We vibing? Fantastic. That's why I was. That was why I asked you the question. I replied, because I see that you are indifferent about money, which is a characteristic rather of those who have inherited their fortunes than acquired them. The makers of fortunes have a second love of money as a creation of their own, resembling the affection of authors for their own poems, of parents for their children, besides that natural love of it for the sake of its profit, of its use and profit which is common to them and all men. I need to stop saying do a backflip. I left my jumping shoes at home. Professional excuse maker. If someone were to donate right now, that would make me no. No, because it's still the primary thing is reading and gaming. Um, and hence they are very bad company, for they can talk about nothing but the praises of wealth. That is true, he said. Um, um, yes, that is very true, but may I ask another question? What do you consider to be the greatest blessing which you have reaped from your wealth? One, he said, of which I could not expect easily to convince others. For let me tell you, Socrates, that when a man thinks himself to be near death, fears and cares enter into his mind, which he never had before. The tales of a world below and the punishment which is exacted there of deeds done here were once a laughing matter to him. But now he is tormented with the thought that they may be true, either from the weakness or age, or because he is now drawing nearer to that other place. He has a clearer view of these things. Suspicions and alarms crowd thickly upon him, and he begins to reflect and consider what wrongs he has done to others. And when he finds that the sum of his transgressions is great, he will many a time, like a child, start up in his sleep for fear, and he is filled with dark forebodings. But to him who is conscious of no sin, sweet hope, as Pindar charmingly says, is the kind nurse of age. Hope, he says, cherishes the soul of him who lives in justice and holiness, and is the nurse of his age and the companion of his journey. Hope which is the mightiest to sway the restless soul of man. How admirable are his words! And the great blessing of riches, I do not say to every man, but to a good man, is that he has had no occasion to deceive or to defraud others, either intentionally or unintentionally, and when he departs to the world below, he is not in any apprehension about offerings due to gods or debts which he owes men. Who's online? Oh, people are draining out. Thoughts on philosophy? Have you guys read much before? Now to his peace of mind and the possession of wealth greatly contributes, and therefore I say, that setting one thing against another of the many advantages which wealth has to give to a man of sense, And therefore I say that settling one thing against another of the many advantages which wealth has to give, to a man of sense this is in my opinion the greatest. Well said, Cephalus, I replied, but as concerning justice, what is it? To speak the truth and to pay your debts. No more than this? And even to this are there not exceptions? Suppose that a friend, when in his right mind, has deposited arms with me, and he asks for them when he is not in his right mind. Hello. That is good. Someone just put some sort of blackberry sauce in my mouth. Tart. Well said, Cephalus, I replied. We already read this bit. Suppose that a friend, when in his right mind, has deposited arms with me, and he asks for them when he is not in his right mind. Ought I to give them back to him? No one would say that I ought or that I should be right in doing so, any more than they would say I ought to always speak the truth to one who is in his condition. You're quite right, he replied, but then I said, speaking the truth and paying your debts is not a correct definition of justice. Quite correct, Socrates, if Simonides is to be believed, said Pulmachius, interposing. I fear, Cephalus, that I must go now, for I have to look after the sacrifices, and I hand over the argument to Pulmachius and the company. Is not Pulmachus your hair? I said. Heir? I said. To be sure, he answered, and went away laughing to the sacrifices. Tell me then, O thou heir of the argument, what did Simonides say, according to you truly say, about justice? Here we need to clear my inventory. He said that a repayment of debt is just, and in saying so he appears to me to be right. I should be sorry to doubt the word of such a wise and inspired man. But his meaning, though probably clear to you, is the reverse of clear to me. Oh, Easy's here. That ought to return a deposit of arms, or of anything else, to one who asks for it. Then when the person who asks me is not in his right mind, am I by no means to make the return? Certainly not. When Simonides said that the repayment of debt was justice, he did not mean to include that case.
Expensive and time-consuming.
Is it, It is what you imagine to say? Yes. And our enemies also to receive what we owe to them? To be sure, he said, they are to receive what we owe them, and an enemy, as I take it, owes to an enemy that which is proper due to him, that is to say, evil. Simonides, then, after the manner of poets, would seem to have spoken darkly of the nature of justice. For he really meant to say, What did he mean to say? Oof. Anyways, all of my brain cells are into just even trying to read the philosophy. Um, for he really meant to say that justice is the giving to each man which is proper to him, and this he termed a debt. That must have been his meaning, he said. By heaven, I replied, and if we ask, okay, do you believe this? This bit. Say in the chat. Thoughts on that? That must have been his meaning, he said. By heaven, I replied. And if we asked him what do, yeah? Interesting. Asked him what due or proper thing is given by medicine, and to whom, what answer do you think that would make to us? He would surely reply that medicine gives drugs and meat and drink to human bodies. And what due or proper thing is given by cookery, and to what? Seasoning to food. And what is that which justice gives, and to whom? If, Socrates, we are to be guided by the analogy of the preceding instances, then justice is the art which gives good to friends and evil to enemies. That's interesting. Sorry. That is his meaning then? I think so. And who is best able to do good to his friends and evil to his enemies in the time of sickness? The physician. Or when they are on a voyage amid the perils of the sea? The pilot. And in what sort of actions or with a view to what result is the man most able to do harm to his enemy and good to his friend? In going to war against the one and in making alliances with the other. But when a man is well, my dear Pulmachus, I keep adding an E. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. Unless someone corrects me. If someone knows how to pronounce things, please let me know. Pulmachus, there is no need of a physician? No. And he who is not on a voyage has no need of a pilot? No. Then in time of peace, justice will be of no use? Are those are too close. I'm very far from saying so. You think justice may be used in peace as well in war? Yes. Like husbandry for the acquisition of corn? Yes. Or like shoemaking for the acquisition of shoes. That is what you mean? Yes. And what similar use or power of acquisition has justice in time of peace? In contract, Socrates, the justice is of use. And by contracts, you mean partnerships? Exactly. But is the just man or the skillful player more useful and better at a game of draughts? The skillful player. And in the laying of bricks and stones, is the just man more useful or better partner than the builder? Quite the reverse. Then in what sort of partnership is the just man a better partner than a harp player, as in playing the harp? As in playing the harp player is certainly a better partner than the just man? In a money partnership, yes, Plamachus, but surely not in the use of money, for you do not know for you do not want a just man to be your counselor in the purchase or sale of a horse. A man who is knowing about horses would be better for that, would he not? Certainly. And when you want to buy a ship, the shipwright or the pilot would be better? True. Then what is the joint use of silver or gold in which the just man is to be preferred? When you want to deposit to be kept safely. You mean when money is not wanted but allowed to lie? Precisely. That is to say, justice is useful when money is useless. That is the inference. And when you want to keep a pruning hook safe, then justice is useful to the individual and to the state. But when you want to use it, then the art of the vine dresser? Clearly. And then when you want to keep a shield or a lyre and not use... Thank you for that. Foof is too funny for me. And when you want to keep a shield or a lyre and not to use them, you would say that justice is useful. But when you want to use them, then the art of the soldier or of the musician? Certainly. And so of all other things, justice is useful when they are useless, and useless when they are useful? Dead chat because readings are bad chat interaction, though, but I think it's a fairly solid viewing because people want to stick around for the, There's something in the water. Fish. I think there's an axolotl that lives down here. Justice is useful when they are useless, and useless when they are useful. That is the inference. Then justice is not good for much. But let us consider this further point. Is not he who can win the best strike a blow in boxing match or in any kind of fighting best able to ward off a blow? Certainly, and he who is most skillful in presenting or escaping from a disease is best able to create one? That is an aesthetic piece. They're like sea pickles. I wouldn't be surprised if they use the same code. This guy is so annoying. And he who is most skillful in presenting or escaping from a disease is best able to create one? And he is the best guard of a camp who is best able to march upon an enemy? Certainly. Then he who is a good keeper of anything is also a good thief? Gotta get some ink. Then he who is a good keeper of anything is also a good thief. That, I suppose, is to be inferred. This guy won't like share an opinion. He's like, oh well, that's the inference he's said like 50 times now. I don't like him, and I don't think we're supposed to like him. Effective writing. That, I suppose, is to be inferred. Then if the just man is good at keeping money, he is good at stealing it. That is implied in the argument. See? And then after all, the just man has turned out to be a thief. And this is a lesson. Squid. This is what we needed. We need air. And this is a lesson which I suspect you must learn out of Homer. I think he's just got it. They have respiration, I'm sure. I do not. And Simonides are agreed that justice is an art of theft to be practiced, however, for good of friends and for the harm of enemies. That is what you were saying? No, certainly not that, though I do not know what I did say, but I still stand by the latter words. Oh, well, that's not what I said, but I don't know what I did say. Idiot. Sorry, I need to stop calling the philosophers idiots. Well, there is another question. By friends and enemies, do we mean those who are really, or only in seeming? Surely, he said, a man be expected to love those who he thinks are good, and hate those whom he thinks evil. Yes, but do persons not often err about good and evil? Many who are not good seem to be so, or conversely? That is true. Then to them the good will be enemies, and the evil will be their friends? True. Oh, I read, anyways. But, do not person often then to them the good will be their enemies, and the evil will be their friends? True. And in that case, they will be right in doing good to the evil and evil to the good? Hello. You guys will put screen time limits, and then, like... In that case, they will be... Clearly. But the good are just and would not do an injustice? You are Murdocking your phone? Hello, Murdocking your phone. Hope you're doing well. Murdoch phone follow, question mark? Who knows? And in that case, they will be right in doing good and evil to the good. But the good are just and would not do injustice. True, that according to your argument, it is just to injure those who injure those who do no wrong. Nay, Socrates, the doctrine is immoral. Then I suppose that we ought to do good to the just and harm the unjust. I like that better. But see the consequence. Many a man who is ignorant of human nature has friends who are bad friends. And in that case he ought to do harm to them, and he has good enemies whom he ought to benefit. But if so, we shall be saying the very opposite of that which we affirmed to be the meaning of Simonides. How are you doing tonight, Murdoch? Very true, he said, and I think that we had better correct an error into which we seem to have fallen in the use of the words friend and enemy. What was the error, Polmachus? Have I been getting messages? I asked. We assumed that he is a friend who seems to be or who is thought good. And how is the error to be corrected? We should rather say that he is a friend who is as well as seems good, and that I'm glad you're doing well. Oh, you're already falling on your phone. Pog. Um, um, who is as well as seems good, and that he who seems only and is not good only seems to be and is not a friend and of an enemy. The same may be said. You would argue that the good are our friends and the bad are our enemies? Yes. And instead of saying simply as we did at first, that it is just to do good to our friends and harm to our enemies, we should further say it is just to do good to our friends when they are good and harm to our enemies when they are evil? Yes, that appears to me to be the truth. And ought the just to injure, but ought the just to not to but ought the just to injure anyone at all? Undoubtedly, he ought to injure those who are both wicked and his enemies. When horses are injured and they improved or when horses are injured, are they improved or deteriorated? The latter. Deteriorated to say, that is to say, in the good qualities of horses, not of dogs. Yes, of horses. And dogs are deteriorated in the good qualities of dogs and not of horses? Of course. You can't play games the rest of the week. Oh no, what's wrong? And will not men who are injured be deteriorated in that which is the proper virtue of man? Certainly. And that human virtue is justice? One sec, gotta get to safety. I do that one. I do that one. I do that one, Murdoch. To be sure. Then men who are injured are of necessity made unjust. That is the result. Now that is bordering upon stupidity. Or the horseman by his art make them bad horsemen? Impossible. Oh, I thought it was day, I thought it was day, I thought it was a day, I thought it was day. This is a weird balance. The two things that are going on here. It's an eclectic lifestyle. Okay, that sound effect is so scary to me, actually. Don't break the door. Oh, don't take my weapon. That's not very nice. I get in trouble lots. Okay, now it's closed. No more monsters. Um, can the good by virtue make them bad? Assuredly not. And any more than heat can produce cold? It cannot. Or drought moisture? Clearly not. Nor can the good harm anyone? Impossible. I am just being slaughtered. Um, am I homeless right now? I am. Well, so we're on the run, kind of. But I actually just got abandoned. I have a home, but it's in danger, and then I got stranded here. Oh, that's okay, Izu. I don't know if they can hear me. Um, any more than he can produce cold, it cannot, or drought moisture, clearly not. Nor can the good harm anyone? Impossible. And the just are good? Certainly. Then to injure a friend or anyone else is not the act of a just man, but the opposite, who is unjust? I think that what you say is quite true, Socrates. Then if a man says that justice consists of the repayment of debts, and that good is the debt which a just man owes to his friends, and evil the debt which he owes to his enemies, to say this is not wise, for it is not true, if has been clearly shown, the injuring of another can be in no case just. I agree with you, said Plamachus. Then you and I are. There's a whole big story, Murdoch. If you're on tomorrow night, I can tell you. Okay. We'll be right back. don't remember telling you my chords at all. Um, so I'll be going back with them? What? Oh, like the places? I don't remember giving you my chords, Murdoch, so I don't know. Yeah, I know, but there's someone above you. That's it. Are you still in the same area? I do not know. Oh, Easy's there. Hello, friend. He's warming by the fire. Alrighty. So we do have to end up for tonight. We have like okay, so I could disappear, but I think I know about one, so I can kind of manage time accordingly.
Dive into fall with everything to power your big ideas.
Ads. I don't want to scream right now. I know. I feel like if I talk too loud, then we won't do too well, you know? Boat ride. Boat. What was I saying? Shoot. Why can't I be at my home? Oh, well, some people are saying that maybe I shouldn't go back because there's a lot of war right now. Some people joined the server that, well, one joined and really didn't like me, and we fought, and they kind of threatened my area, and that wasn't good at all, not good at all. And then another person came back and they said, and I quote, "I am going to burn everyone on this server down." And they were terrorizing some people, and I had to leave, like, urgent reasons out of my control. And no one has heard from those two people since. They're using serious hacks, can travel 30 blocks per second. They can fly, just like seriously hacking there. And so they intend to take down everyone, but that's why I need to be there. That's why I need to be home. I'm going to build a safe house. I'm really good at like making secret doors and passages and everything, and hiding stuff. So I'm gonna make a safe house and have people. We're gonna put like, yeah, I'm gonna make everyone safe. No, Josh isn't banning them because Josh's whole thing is that it's there's no rules, you know. I was just thinking that earlier about, yeah, so I really hope that Sappho is okay. And Sappho and shoot Pans. I'm bad at names. I just hope they're okay. Oh yeah, well that really sucks for him. Yeah. Oh, okay. Drowns. He just falls off and drowns. Yeah, that really does suck for everyone. I'm gonna talk to Josh about it, because, like, threatening people to the point they are, like, even if the thing is no rules, it's not okay. It's gonna tear the server apart. Even worse, Sky was gonna be a problem for a bit, but I'm kind of working towards peace with them. We've made some really great strides, and I'm happy about that. But this new person, what's name is Slender, and Sky invited them, which is really, really sus. But I'm choosing to think the better of it from now. So can he not just TP to you with their hacks? I don't know how it works. Can people do that with hacks? I've just had an anxiety attack. Can I eat while I'm in a boat? Yes. Sometimes I forget. We just barely made the month follower goal today. And then they're doing an event for streamers, at least affiliated ones, called September Boat. Oof. Foof is gonna just be the major callback. Should I get it? They can do whatever they paid for. What the frick? What the frick? Yeah, we need to talk to Josh. If I had Discord, we could probably have this sorted out. Easy, were you on stream? Can you hear me? Because this really, we need to talk to Josh. Do you know when he's on? Josh, how long have you been here? It would be so much better for everyone if you would please, please get them off. Or at least maybe teleport me home, because we are thousands of blocks from home, and these you could fly here, but I cannot fly. I do not have armor. Please teleport me home. Oh, Murdoch, Twitchcraft is Josh's Twitch. Josh, I need you to teleport me, please. Please. Or at least take me home so that I can protect Olympia. Don't go. They have wall hacks. What is that? Anyways, guys, worst possible moment. I have to leave for the night. Josh, please be on tomorrow night. We need to talk. I have books. Well, I don't have books. I need to be given books, but I have books that I've written in real life that I can copy into in-game. Anyways, this is kind of a dire hour for the server. Any server members within the sound of my voice, please take care. Take care of yourselves. Get your valuables and get them far from where you are. Be prepared to either flee or defend your home. I will be starting an alliance to protect each other, and I will be building a place to keep us safe. Please, please be online tomorrow, Josh, if you can. I can't make you, obviously, but if you can, that would be really, really nice. Because we have a lot of stuff we need to work out. Thank you all so much for coming. This is a dire hour. Yeah, we need everyone stay safe. Protect the things and ones you love and value. Please. Do not, under any circumstance, lead people towards Olympia. Thank you, everyone. See you next time. Been a great stream.